Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dave. This is Barry.
Hi, Barry. How are you?
Doing good. Hey, Hudson Taylor said, first it's impossible, then it's difficult, and then it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Webster's Dictionary of 1820 says, a patriot upholds old and dying laws. I had read a book here. It's called In Defense of a Nation. Dave, we cannot sit back and let this stuff happen anymore. What's going on with our veterans, those in World War II, it was time that we stand up and have ourselves accounted for. Because, Dave, when we live in fear, that's the very thing that will actually overtake us. Joe even talked about that.
That's right.
And, when you stand up for something, it's like that old show with Andy Griffin's show. Remember when Opie was with that bully?
Oh, yeah.
And he kept on putting the line there, and Opie kept on walking across. We need to do the same thing. We have to stand up, even though we're fearful. And, Dave, with that book, In Defense of a Nation, one thing I found out is that our roots actually go back with the United States all the way back into, 1 Kings 12. You can actually read the book in that. But they actually stood up against a tyrant. And, it actually said that God was the one that was having the people rise up.
Mm-hmm.
When I took a class in high school, I did casting. When you put all the stuff, the pieces in there, eventually it comes to a boiling point and all the side comes up. And you realize there are people that are actually not true to the faithful people of America that were, our founding fathers. And we'll find that more and more as we are willing to stand up in the boiling problems that are happening. We'll find out that those who are not with us, they'll be the flag that will be thrown out.
I think so, too, and there seems to be more and more people who are beginning to talk of a time for revolution.
Yeah, and Dave, I am not one that's going to wants to fight, but, there comes to a point where you have to say, with God's help, I will do whatever He's called me to do.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't be fearful. And, there are more pastors that are rising up, and they're actually standing for our freedoms, because we can't keep going to government saying, oh, government, please this, please that. No, God gave us God-given freedoms. Freedom is where you don't do what you want to do. You do what you ought to do. It's just like with Cindy Hill.
Sure.
The law says you can't do this, but they didn't do what they were supposed to do. Yeah.
Well, I heard someone, I think it was Sean Hannity yesterday, talking about, or maybe it was somebody on Sean Hannity's show, the right to keep and bear arms, and he aptly pointed out that Jefferson was so pro the right for us to keep and bear arms, not to protect ourselves from England or France or Al-Qaeda, but from our own government.
True.
And we forget that.
Yeah. Well, Dave, I want to say that there are some awesome people that do call in, and I really appreciate your show and what you're doing, and let me just voice my opinion.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you doing that.
Have a good day, Dave.
You too.
Thank you.